Здравейте! Today I'm going to explain 3 Bulgarian customs that foreigners noticed in Bulgaria or that Bulgarians do. These are kind of my interpretations. A lot of my videos are about, real life and, explaining things pretty much like on the street, like a street style, or kind of explaining things based on my understanding and life experiences, not so much based on a lot of research, although for some of my videos I do research, but I just wanted to kind of not be so academic and really talk about the issues from kind of from a human perspective. So the first Bulgarian custom that people have noticed, a lot of people have noticed in Bulgaria, is the head shaking. A lot of people kind of share that it's exactly the opposite. In the West, yes is yes and no is no. And they say in Bulgaria it's exactly the opposite. My opinion is that it's not really an exact opposite. It's actually different, I think. For example, to say yes, I'll do in Bulgarian, if I communicate with Bulgarians, I'll be something like this. It's more like this type of a head shake. It's not like this, so it's kind of like this. From what I've seen or heard, I think Indians do it like this also. So it's not an exact opposite of the West like this. And as far as no, it's more like, let me see, I think it's I've been living in the West for quite some time, so I'm kind of not probably doing it the best way, but I personally will do it like a very small sorry, let me just adjust that. I'll do it like a very small like a head shake like this for no. I think some people might do it like this, but I think it's not so profound like this. No, in Bulgarian it's more subtle. It's more like this or more like this. From my understanding, why Bulgarians do it differently than in the West is, from what I've heard, during Ottoman times, when they were trying to convert Bulgarians to Islam, they pretended that they wanted to become Muslim. So if you were forced to do this, if they ask you, hey, do you want to become Muslim, are you committed to becoming Muslim, whatever, and the Bulgarians would say yes, but they actually meant no because they didn't want to. So that stuck. It was kind of cheating, because they didn't really want to. So instead of probably saying what they were used to doing, like in the West before, like saying yes for no, no for no, they'll say yes, I want to become a Muslim, but they actually didn't want to, because at that time the Christianity was extremely important, and it was kind of really the identity of the people. Even at one point under the Ottoman Empire, people were not even considered Bulgarian. Everyone was considered Christian first, and then later, with the national revival in each of the countries in the Balkans, they were kind of became more and more nationalistic, so they became kind of the modern nations. But of course there was Bulgaria before the Ottoman Empire, and there was a Bulgarian identity before the Ottoman Empire. But during that period, which was very long, 5 centuries in Bulgaria, people were kind of lost their national identity. That's the reason why people are doing it like that, for this custom, at least based on my readings and my understanding of that. And also I wanted to mention, for any of these customs, you need to, people are doing things for a reason, and also it would be very interesting to compare, let's say, Bulgaria to all the Balkan countries, and then all the European countries, and then some other countries in the world that might be similar. In Bulgaria there is a big kind of Middle Eastern influence, for historic reasons and also geographic reasons, and so I feel a country typically cannot be viewed in isolation. Usually it's really, we are all interconnected, we all related, you know, we're all kind of share things, and things cross borders very easily. So if you're interested in these types of topics and to understand Bulgaria better, I feel you should explore the Balkans first, and then explore other Slavic people that might not be in the Balkans probably second, and then third look into the Middle East and, you know, Persia and, you know, that area, because there's been a lot of interaction between people from there as part of the Ottoman Empire for the last, you know, 5-6 centuries or so. So the second custom Bulgarians have, or habit, or whatever you want to call it, is, some people commented that Bulgarians are really warn people about cold weather or being cold, or I would even add another one, like being kind of in the wind, that there's like some kind of a wind, especially cold wind, going through the house, and everybody should be dressed up really well and things like this. I certainly am like that. I really believe, you know, I actually am also like that in that respect. I don't know, for some reason, you know, I don't feel comfortable if there's a gap in the door, you know, under the door, let's say the door to your apartment or a house, there's like a small gap, and you're sitting next to the door, and there's a wind going through, and it's kind of, especially if it's kind of hitting your waist, you know, I feel it's not, you might get sick, you know, you might get kind of, you know, catch a cold or something. So I kind of agree with that one, and the reason is for health issues. I noticed some people don't care about that, you know, people are kind of laying on the floors everywhere and kind of really don't care about wind or their health or whatever, but in Bulgaria I feel people care about that. Maybe again, everything can be explained by the circumstances. People do things for a reason in every country. You know, people are not stupid. They wouldn't do something unless there's a reason for it. Maybe the isolation in Bulgarian houses is not so good. Maybe the weather is colder than other places. You know, maybe it's genetic, you know, so there's all these factors that you need to take into consideration when you try to understand why people do certain things in a certain way. The other and last one I have for you is kind of related. Some people notice that Bulgarians wear slippers at home. you know, I've lived in the US for quite some time. Overall, my impression is that American floors, you know, in houses and apartments are kind of warmer in general. And also a lot of them have carpets and things like that. They're not hardwood floors, or at least, you know, the places that I lived in. So it's more comfortable and warmer actually not to wear slippers. But at least in my experience in Bulgaria, in all the places I lived, there's a lot of hardwood floors, there's a lot of tiles, and there's a lot of again, maybe it's cracks under the doors is bigger, or there's kind of more wind going through. Plus the weather in general, the weather in Bulgaria is colder than in the US, for example. So people tend to wear slippers to feel warmer and feel more comfortable. And I don't know if this is true for men from any nationality, but Bulgarians believe, and I believe, that men, you know, males get sick more easily. The first thing that happens is when a guy gets sick is when they their feet are cold. Have you noticed that? Have you experienced that? If your feet get cold, then and you don't do anything about it, wear warm socks or wear slippers or whatever, or wear warm shoes, then eventually you get a cold or get sick. So that's my explanation. So that's all I had. If you have any questions, let me know about these three things. I'll summarize them for you. One is the Bulgarian head shake. The second one is kind of constantly feeling cold or having being concerned about wind. And the third one is wearing slippers. So if you have any questions about those three, let me know. Or if you noticed any other kind of peculiar things in Bulgaria or with Bulgarians, please ask down in the comments, and I'll try to explain those to you also, and we'll create new videos. All right, take care. Ciao.